Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ash Canchum, or Ash Can't. I don't know how I'm supposed to say it. I'm going to be honest. It's probably spelled wrong, but that's fine. He doesn't deserve his name to be spelled correctly. This is a panel about how Ash is just the absolute worst Pokemon trainer. I'm Max.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Thomas, the intern.
Yeah, and don't you forget it.
We need a diversity hire.
And together we are the foundation for the preservation of Gen 1 Pokemon. You can follow us on Discord and Twitter and a meme, and then we have a missing no, which unfortunately isn't a functioning QR code, but I wish it was. Anyway, so for this panel we've talked about how Ash just sucks. But before we do that, we have to, I guess, compare him to someone competent. So, Thomas, would you like to open us up with that?
So, in order to understand exactly how bad of a character and person Ash is, we need to understand how good his traveling companion, Go, really is. As you can see here, encounters with legendaries, Go actually manages to capture a Suicune, so he does what most Pokemon Gold owners never could. Meanwhile, Ash thinks it's a great idea to punch Mewtwo.
Yeah, fighting type is not good against Psychic.
In order to make friends with his Pokemon, Ash needs to put them through physical and emotional hell. He needs to bring them to the brink of almost death, and maybe at the end he can get maybe, one friendship.
Wait, didn't Pikachu lick him at the end of that episode?
It took a while.
He got to, I guess the equivalent of first base with a pet.
To be fair, they almost died. Meanwhile, Go just captures 10 Pokemon because he's, a good guy who's good with animals. As you can see here, Go is having a nice little wholesome sleepover with his newly caught bug friends. Meanwhile, Ash and Pikachu, being the little shitters that they are in the timeout zone. This is Ash's championship team. Competent enough, I guess. However, if you notice, there's one thing missing. That's right. His father figure, Mr. Mime, is strangely absent from his team.
Basically, what happened was one day Ash was sitting there with Mr. Mime. He was like, don't worry, Dad. I'm only going out to pick up smokes. I'll be back soon. But, behind him, this is what was going on. So, yeah, Mr. Mime's still waiting for Ash to come back with the smokes, but Ash is just out there fucking Gengar, let's be honest.
Ash gets punked by Team Rocket every episode. Let's not pretend like that isn't true. He's terrible at dealing with them. James is holding him back in literally the most embarrassing way possible.
Thomas, let's try this. We've got the right height disparity here. Okay, so first be Ash.
I'll be Ash.
Okay. Okay, now be Go. It's so easy!
It's way too easy.
Your forehead is way less sweaty than last time we did that. Also, please pass me the hand sanitizer.
Anyways, Go's so Chad, he steals Pokemon from Team Rocket. That's just what he does. He's...
Okay, good. That's enough.
Most egregiously of all, Ash can't dance. This is shown multiple times. It's proven. We have the evidence. The only time it's good is when it doesn't count. And let's be real, you're going to say, hey, that stanky leg's pretty good. Well, it could be stankier.
Max, you're up.
My hands are absolutely covered in hand sanitizer. That was not worth the bet. Anyway, now that we've talked about how Ash is just, bad at this, we should go over all of his individual accomplishments and discredit them one by one. So here's Gary. He has a set of badges. I think he bought them off Etsy, but I'm honestly not sure because those are not the badges. Or maybe they are, and Ash has just been really pumped. Anyway, we're going to go over all of these goddamn badges one at a time. First up, we have the Boulder Badge. In this episode, Ash shows up to Pewter City with his traveling companion, Misty. And Misty's like, hey, Ash, do you want any help with the gym? I can give you some hints. And because Misty is a girl, Ash refused the advice. So he decided to challenge Onyx using Pikachu. And if you don't know, Onyx is rock, ground, and Pikachu is electric. And if you don't know your type matchups because you play new Pokemon games, you don't have to memorize them because the game tells you electric does 0 damage against Onyx. So because of type advantages, Pikachu loses. At this point, Ash is a little distraught. He needs to come up with a plan. Misty again offers help, but Misty's still a girl. Ash is not about that. So he consults the only person he can, some weird guy who's selling rocks outside of town. And this guy's plan is fucking brilliant. We're going to take the local water mill, hook it up to a generator, and hook that generator up to Pikachu. Now, unfortunately, this episode was filmed last year in California, so there was no water. So, again, instead of consulting Misty for help, Ash decided to power the water mill by himself. And he exploded it. And I did Google how much energy output is required to explode a small generator. And I did not get a result, but I did get a message from my local FBI agent. Anyway, Ash's plan is steroids. I guess Pokemon's like bodybuilding, so it's fine. This isn't some, or, you know, just an unregulated Tour de France game. Who fucking knows? Anyway, Pikachu challenges Onyx again, and because it doesn't matter how much you add to a number when you multiply it by 0, Ash loses. However, this time he does set fire to the building, which sets off the OSHA-mandated sprinklers in the gym, which... unfair. Anyway, Pikachu takes advantage of the situation, and now that Onyx is all wet, he's able to knock him out. After the match is over and Pikachu is forfeit. So they give Ash the badge. Next we have the Cascade Badge, and this episode opens with Ash at an aquarium.
Wait. Are those fish?
Yeah.
Like, not Pokemon, just fish?
Yeah, that's a real fucking fish. Jesus Christ. So I guess in the Pokemon world, like, you could have a lion, and it'd be like, yeah, you have a lion. Do you have a Goldeen? It's so sad. Anyway, I would like to complain about this further. In the Pokemon world, they already have universal healthcare, but apparently they also have universal aquariums. And I think it's absolutely bullshit that Ash is able to go into the aquarium for free. Sure, maybe it's because he's under 12, but no. I'm fucking sick of having to pay $25 to go to the aquarium to see some sharks, only for there to always be a field trip of 6-year-olds between me and the sharks. I get that it's like socially unacceptable to kick the kids out of the way to look at the shark, and I'm tall enough to see it over them, but I want to get up close and personal, and I can never fucking do that. Anyway, all the gym leaders' Pokemon are dead. Gary did some weird reverse Nuzlocke shit, and he's just been killing everything. So Ash instead gets to fight Misty. Ash uses Butterfree, and Butterfree uses Stun Spore on Staryu, who jumps in the water to cure the paralysis, because as we all know in the game, that's how it works. At this point, Misty says, Staryu looks like they're in real pain, and Ash replies, how can you tell it doesn't even have a face? Which means, 1, Ash does not give a shit about his Pokemon and lacks all forms of empathy. And 2, is clearly not okay with things with something that identifies as non-binary, since he uses it instead of Staryu's preferred pronouns of they, them. Anyway, Team Rocket shows up, and their plan is to take all of the water because I guess they're LA. Yada, yada, yada. Ash wins a badge because, and to quote the Cerulean sisters, if he used Pikachu, he would have won. And at this point, I'm upset. And I need to go see a shark. So I had Andrew watch an episode for me.
And the episode I watched was, of course, the Thunder Badge, where Ash goes to fight Lieutenant Surge. So he comes into town, goes to fight Lieutenant Surge, and promptly gets bodied, as in classic form. And then he gets bodied so badly that it turns into a medical drama with, like, Pikachu on life support. He does everything to save Pikachu. And then at the end, the Nurse Joy, of course, offers him a performance-enhancing stone. Which Ash says, no, I'm not about that shit. We only use real drugs here, like speed. Because Pikachu just uses agility, and now can't be hit by Raichu, and gets like a Gen 1 crit or something, even though Raichu has a higher base speed in the game. So I don't know what happened there. Raichu could have just also used agility. It also learns that move, but no. So he actually wins a battle.
Thomas, I need you to get us some coffee, actually. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, this is just so frustrating. I need some caffeine to get through this shit. So next we have the Marsh Badge. Thank you, intern. This is a 3-episode arc, and it opens with Ash and friends being the 1 millionth visitors to Saffron City, as they are greeted by some cultural appropriators. Now, I would like to note the population of the whole Kanto region is like, I don't know, 200 people. So being the millionth visitor is kind of a wild statistic. Anyway, Ash gets to first base, and then they steal Pikachu. And I would like to note, we're going to say this is James, I don't really care. James is holding Pikachu, and he's using the rubber gloves because he doesn't want Pikachu to electrocute him. But he is not also wearing a rubber bodysuit, meaning Pikachu could at any point electrocute James and escape. And has chosen not to, because fuck this kid. Anyway, they almost get away with it, but then this weird girl shows up and stops the whole thing from happening. So anyway, next day they go to the gym, and there's this weird dude outside, and he's like, that gym is full of psychics. And Ash is like, psychics aren't real. And then they go inside, and the gym is full of psychics. Ash challenges Serena to a fight. He doesn't do well. They're turned into dolls. The weird guy saves them. They're turned out of dolls and tells them that they have to thank you for the coffee.
Good man.
I don't get paid.
No, this actually comes out of your stipend. Trash. Anyway, they're sent to Lavender Town to catch a ghost Pokemon because it has a type advantage, despite the fact that there are no functioning ghost moves outside of Lick in Gen 1, and Gengar line is slower than the Kadabra line, and they're part poison, whatever. Anyway, they go to Lavender Town, they go to Lavender Tower. In the games, it's a holy sanctuary. Well, it's a holy place where, you mourn the loss of your Pokemon, kill Gary's Raticate, capture the ghosts of other people's Pokemon to use in your own escapades. In the anime, it's just a frat house where they just hang out and watch reruns of Three Stooges all day. Ash challenges Haunter to a fight, and it quickly devolves into a silly face contest. And you know what your parents said about making a silly face contest, right? If you keep doing it, you'll fucking die. So he fucking dies. They bring him back, and they have him run around and do some ghost shit, and then they let him out, and then Haunter decides to join them because, I would feel responsible for him too at that point. Anyway, Ash goes back to Serena, and he's going to fight Serena with Haunter, except Haunter is out golfing. So at that point, Ash loses, and they are all again turned into dolls. Ash manages to escape because as a white man, he cannot be held accountable for his own actions. And decides, I'll just go fight Serena again because I haven't learned a lesson yet. So he sends out Haunter. Haunter does not fight Kadabra, so he has to send out Pikachu. Haunter instead fights Sabrina directly using that one TM at Silphco you always got, self-destruct. Which I feel like should kill someone, but Sabrina's just okay and laughing about it. I guess she thinks IEDs are funny. I don't know. Not about that shit. Anyway, Ash gets the badge. Next we have the Rainbow Badge. This one starts with Ash being turned away from the gym for being a boy, and that gamer gates him really fucking quickly. So he decides to go to the gym in drag, challenge all of the women to wrestling matches, and gets absolutely bodied. And then Team Rocket, yada yada yada, he gets the badge. Next we have the Soul Badge. This one starts with Ash already fighting Koga. Ash sends out Pidgeotto and Charmander. Koga sends out Venomoth. And I mean, we know how this goes because of type advantages. Venomoth wins. Anyway, at this point, I'm bored. The episode has devolved into Psyduck having headaches. I don't care about Psyduck having headaches. So I start trading stocks because I want to lose money faster than the rate of inflation. And what I quickly found out was no matter how much a stock promises that it's environmentally sustainable, it always has 10% of its holdings in fucking ExxonMobil. I am angry. Ash gets a badge. Next we have the Volcano Badge. This one starts with Ash and friends on Jeff Bezos' mega yacht. They're on their way to Cinnabar Island. Cinnabar Island in the games, the economy is based off that science research outpost and that burned down mansion that people loot for parts. In the show, it's just Hawaii. It's just tourism. It's been gentrified, man. Anyway, they show up to the only bed and breakfast that has rooms. This is ran by this weird dude who's definitely not Blaine. But instead of paying for their room, they have to do a series of riddles. So it's basically an escape room. Misty's really good at it, and I assume if they failed, it would become a Saw-like situation, and this man's selling snuff films. Anyway, Team Rocket shows up, yada yada yada. Turns out he's Blaine. Oh my god, we did it. So Ash challenges Blaine to a fight. Ash sends out Squirtle, Blaine sends out Ninetales. Because of type advantages, Squirtle loses. Ash sends out Charizard. Blaine withdraws Ninetales to send out Rhydon. In the show, they indicate that this means Ninetales is forfeit the match. That's not how it fucking goes. I've played the games. I'm not crossing Ninetales out. I'm a professional. But anyway, Rhydon versus Charizard because of type advantages. Rhydon loses. Rhydon wins. Charizard loses. So Ash sends out Pikachu. Pikachu versus Rhydon. You know how it is because of type advantages. Rhydon loses. So then Blaine sends out Magmar, and Magmar just yeets Pikachu into the ocean like he fucking deserves. So anyway, at this point, Ash is lost. He's distraught. There's no way he's going to get over this. And then the volcano explodes. And Ash decides that since he's seen that episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender recently, he's going to fight the volcano. So he beats the volcano. Blaine is there. And Ash goes, hey, Blaine, I beat the volcano in a fight. You should give me a badge. And Blaine is like, wait a minute. You have to beat the gym leader to get the badge. Like, how have you been... can we audit your badges? Because, that is not how you're supposed to get them. So at this point, Misty and Brock have disappeared. They can't handle the questioning. So anyway, Ash fights Blaine. Charizard decides he respects Ash for 5 whole minutes. Beats the shit out of Magmar, and then Misty goes, where's my bike, bitch? I don't know. We never know. Does she get the bike back? I genuinely forgot.
Yes, but it's not from Ash. Just Nurse Joy fixes it.
What the? So wait, during the entire series, the Nurse Joy in Viridian City is just slowly fixing Misty's bike in her off time. Why? Who here would fix the bike of a stranger for free? Exactly.
Those public servants go...
Anyway, Earth Badge. This episode starts with Gary fighting Giovanni. Gary sends out Nidoking. Giovanni sends out Kingler. Gary, he's a great trainer. He knows Nidoking's at a type disadvantage here. I'm going to withdraw him. And he's going to send out something that has a great type matchup against Kingler. And that is, of course, fucking Arcanine. This is Gen 1. It doesn't know Wild Charge yet. Anyway, because of type advantages, he wins. And Giovanni's not putting up with any of this shit. He immediately sends out Mecha Mewtwo. So, at this point, because, Giovanni has kidnapped a small boy and absconded to an island, just a Jeffrey Epstein situation, Ash has to fight, just Team Rocket, just the flunkies of the flunkies. And they're basically using, Pokemon, stadium rental Pokemon against Ash, and, that never works out, so Ash gets a badge. So, of the 8 badges, the Boulder Badge, no. He cheated. The Cascade Badge, no, he won because if he used Pikachu, which, let's be honest, how this has worked with type advantages, that's not how it would have fucking gone. We all know it. You've seen the counter. Vermilion City, sure. I mean, it took his second try. He never wins a gym badge on his first try, so that's fine. Rainbow Badge, no. I think he just smelled the best in the perfume competition. I'm honestly not sure. Next, Soul Badge, sure. I don't know. I stopped paying attention. Marsh Badge, no. You can't use your Pokemon to literally explode the opponent. That's cheating. Next up, Volcano Badge, sure. He did literally beat a volcano. I guess that's warranted. And then the Earth Badge, no, he did not beat the actual regulation gym leader. He defeated some random idiots. But badges aren't the only way that he keeps having these accomplishments that don't fucking count. There's also the whole that.
He sucks at every tournament. Let's not pretend otherwise. He's just bad, and even when he wins, it's unjustified. So his first tournament, the Indigo League, it's Ash versus Richie. And if you know Richie, Richie is like Ash, but better in every single way, shape, and form. And of course, naturally, Ash loses when his Charizard doesn't listen to him. And he's like, but Professor Oak, what I lost. And Professor Oak literally tells him, you fucked up, kid. Go again. So he kind of takes that to heart while Richie broods in the sidelines.
I'd like to note, it's kind of weird that like Ash is not allowed to just heal his Pokemon for the fight.
No, he's not.
Just like, yeah, your Pokemon seem pretty fucked up. Just go with it.
If you're a good Pokemon trainer, you'd hit more. Exactly.
Skill issue.
For the Orange League, it's Ash versus Drake, but this Drake is way too cool, so he has to like fight knockoff.
Fuckboy Island Drake.
But this whole Orange League is one battle. There's 4 gyms, and those gyms include snowball fights, sledding contests, and the badges are shells you get off the beach. So it's not a real gym or a league, it's a tourist trap. The Silver Conference is a fun one. Ash runs the Olympic Flame for some reason, and then he beats Gary for some reason, and it all goes down to Charizard versus Blaziken. And here's an artist's rendition of how that turned out. In the Grande Conference, which is Ho and its Pikachu versus Puss in Boots, and let's just say we know who our favorite fearless hero is, and it certainly isn't Ash Ketchum. In the Battle Frontier, it's Ash versus the Battle Frontier, in the Frontier Brains, and they're like 6 of the most badass trainers ever, and they're super cool. And to give Ash credit, he does it, he takes them down in a Kill Bill style fashion, and he actually wins this one, good job, an honest win.
Doesn't count?
No, this is post-game content, it doesn't count.
It's an OVA.
In the Lily of the Valley Conference, Ash lets this happen for an embarrassing amount of time. And then he loses to some guy with a Darkrai and a Latios. I don't know why he thought it was a good idea to bring Torkoal up to fight against Darkrai, but he did, and he lost. And to be fair, though, the guy he's fighting Tobias is cheating. 2 Pokemon, Ash lost, but so would anyone.
There's definitely a Game Shark involved there.
100%. You see this? Axio, certifiably not a Pokemon.
That's disgusting.
Later. Well, it dies on its way back to its home planet and gets lost, and then Ash loses to some guy who can't count. This guy thinks a full battle is 5 versus 5. He thinks a full set of gym badges is 7 badges. This guy sucks. He's awful, and he's the only person in the whole show who is worse than Ash. So the one battle Ash was supposed to win, he loses, because of course he does. In the Lumiose Conference, Ash loses to Alon, who has a whole foot on him. It all goes down to his Greninja versus Charizard, Water Shuriken versus Blastburn. And, we all know why this happened. We all know why. Come on now. And Ash gets crucified.
It was a weird one.
Yeah, it was. The Manalo Conference, Ash wins, but it doesn't count. It's kind of bullshit, and it's completely undeserved. This is who Ash is fighting. Ash's Pokemon falls asleep during the battle. And as we know from Ash versus Richie all the way in the Indigo League, this is a disqualification. Ash is done. He's out. But then Hal's own grandfather goes up there and is like, you know what? My grandson loses, and in the most disgusting example of reverse nepotism I've ever seen.
You consider that he just hates his son?
Yeah.
I mean, all of our parents have been through that, so...
What was his logic behind that decision?
Rowlet is sleeping, therefore it's not knocked out, but when a Pokemon is not battling, it's disqualified.
the games, we can beat up on like the Pokemon as much as we want.
In the show, not so much. They wake round it up.
That's bullshit. Dash at least lose a turn.
Nope.
Sleep hasn't lost a turn.
They get the refs.
Well, no, he has to waste his turn on the Poke-Flute. Like,
The Masters 8 is Ash's like. It's part of the Masters 8 tournament. Ash somehow got to be top 8 in the world. So it's him versus our boy Steven. And, you know, Ash is like coming in with the honest strats. He gets his iPod, hooks it up, plays his music so damn loud, Steven's Pokemon can't hear him, and he loses. And this is like top 8 in the world. This is like a big thing. And in Ash versus Cynthia, it's Ash versus Cynthia. And Ash asks Cynthia to step on him, and she's so incredibly revolted, she throws the whole match. And finally, it's Ash versus Leon in honest battle. Only one gimmick is allowed, and that's, you know, only one Z move, only one Mega Evolution, only one gimmick. One gimmick. So Ash is like, yeah, one gimmick. Sounds great. Me versus Leon, one gimmick, we're gonna do this. So he has his Gengar go big. And then his Lucario Mega evolves, and his Pikachu uses a Z move, I guess, and then his Dracovic is like a weird primal boner. And then Pikachu goes big, and that's how Ash wins, you know, a one gimmick each.
wait, so, because Pikachu uses Z move, so Ash had to dance.
Yeah, Ash had to dance.
Yeah. Was it terrible?
It wasn't great.
All right, but like the TV show isn't even the only place where he's terrible, because we got the movies too. So we've been talking about type matchups, so I'm going to bring up the type chart. See, this is very simple. Everyone knows this by heart if you've ever played any Pokemon game. Ash doesn't have any concept of this. For example, the very first movie, right out of the gates, he's attacked by some pirate dude who sends out a Venomoth, a Pinsir, and a Golem against him. And Ash uses just Thunderbolt and kills all three of them. It's like, that's not how that works. Golem's immune to that. In fact, the animators felt so bad when they redid the movie, they retconned it, so it's just a drowsy now. And then there was that whole like mirror match thing of Pikachu on Pikachu slapping each other for like 10 minutes. It's like, no, Ash could have solved that problem in like 30 seconds. Like, there's a Nidoqueen that's listening to him. He's like, hey, Nidoqueen, come over here, step on Pikachu, and we're done. It's like, Pikachu, really good at that against that Vaporeon. Like, if you just used some type matchups, the whole fight would have been done in like 30 seconds, and he would have a full health army to fight against Mewtwo.
In retrospect, I feel like I needed to add several more of those on this slide.
And then, of course, if you get an invitation personally delivered to you by a stranger that says, hey, you're a Pokemon master, even though you're a 10-year-old child nobody's ever heard of, come to my private island. We promise it'll be okay. Come have fun with us. It's Epstein's Island. Don't go. It's a trap. But Ash, of course, doesn't think about that, goes to the island. And, of course, it's a trap. And, of course, he sees two mythical Pokemon that you'd like learn about in like your textbooks, fighting, causing giant explosions. Where do you want to put yourself? In the middle, right between them, is not the answer anyone should pick if they want to preserve their own life. But Ash doesn't want to preserve
what the fuck? Fix the screen.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Almost had a 5th-gen abomination on there.
God.
Right, but Ash does not want to preserve his own life. He dies like 10 times in the show and movies. He's not the main character, Pikachu is. He's just there because he has the Pokeball.
Pikachu's not even in a Pokeball.
Everyone loves Ash. I don't know why. He's awful, but somehow he does it, and we're going to dig a little deeper on why. As for Misty, you may wonder, why does Misty travel with him? It's not like they have any sort of chemistry at all. It's not like they like each other, quite the opposite, but it's all because she wants her bike. And, you know, I guess, well, at least it doesn't happen a second time. Oh, wait. It's all about the bike again.
Is that like his pickup strategy? Like he read the game and went, yeah, I'm gonna break that bitch's bike, then she's gonna be into me.
I mean, it must be, because it is a 2 for 2 success rate. It isn't 100% success rate so far. At least with Dawn, his relationship's a little less toxic, but hate to break it to you, it was also started with the bike. At least with Serena, Ash doesn't destroy her only mode of transportation. He does, however, give her a ribbon for Christmas. And this is during the holiday where the trainers, it's called Giving Day or something, where trainers supposed to like give something to their Pokemon. By giving her the ribbon, he's saying, "Hey, I own you." So not a good look. Also, a ribbon is a bad present.
I mean, with the way that season went out with Serena, I feel like she was into that.
With Go, Ash is actually a decent person, but this is like last year. Ash, he's got all of his edges smoothed out. At least it's somewhat of a good friendship. He's helping Go out of a gold bin.
All right, and then of course we have the most explicit of the relationships, and of course the one with the most sexual tension is of course Brock. There's a reason why Brock hung around Ash for every season and never left his side. The female characters rotate out every season. Brock doesn't. Brock is a rock-solid companion for Ash.
He's
So
rock
Ash
solid.
honestly has a ton of choices to pick from. Like, he's got good choices. But who does he go for in the end? That's right, he goes for the Pokemon. I mean, at least go for Team Rocket. So Ash can't hold down women or Pokemon, unlike his rivals, who can hold down both.
So I think with all of this, it's safe to diagnose that Ash is a sociopath. But I think we have to give more concrete examples. So first we're going to start with episode 8, Path to the Pokemon League, in which Ash meets this weird dude named AJ, who has like a really weird accent. I don't know who, like the Oklahoma of Kanto, but that's where he's from. So AJ has built his own unauthorized gym because, you know, there's no like governing body to stop people from doing that. And he's beat 99 trainers, and once he's got his 100th win, he's going to go and challenge the gym leader, something we never see happen again, so I don't think it works for him. But I would like to know, what you beat like 3 bug keepers before you fight Brock? I don't think he needs this much goddamn practice. Anyway, Ash fights him, and he sends out Butterfree, and AJ has a Sandshrew, so that goes, you know, how the fuck do you think it's going to go? Just because it's flying. Dig's a flying move now, I guess. So it's super effective. So Ash needs to go inside, break into the compound, you know, like Alex Jones in Bohemian Grove, and see what the fuck is going on here. And apparently it's just Pokemon in weird weight training vests with lifting weights all day. Sandshrew goes swimming to like help negate its water weakness, which is not how it works.
Don't do that.
I had a friend in high school when we played Pokemon Emerald, and he was convinced he could breed the ice weakness out of his dragon Pokemon. And then I stomped him with a Jinx. And there's nothing more shameful than getting swept by a Jinx. Anyway, Team Rocket tries to abduct Pikachu, but they steal Sandshrew instead. Because they look the same, I guess. So at this point, AJ's very upset. All of his Pokemon are gone. And Ash is not at all empathetic to the situation. In fact, he tries to lead AJ's Pokemon in an insurrection. And unfortunately for Ash, AJ's Pokemon actually like him. So the insurrection fails, thankfully. I guess AJ does, I don't know, whatever. Bye-bye, Butterfree. Now this episode starts, as all episodes do, with a nice, scenic hot air balloon ride. Wherein Butterfree decides that he needs to get his dick wet. So he joins a flock of other Butterfree and immediately gets rejected. So Brock starts loudly shouting out PUA advice, you know, telling you about Kino and negging and other words that no one should know the meaning of. So Butterfree goes out, mixed success, you know, some girls giving him his number. But then Team Rocket shows up and decides they're going to reboot Deadliest Catch. And they capture all the Butterfree. So Butterfree saves the day somehow, and then decides that he has to put on his fedora and go, because he has finally found a girl who will give him the time of day. And it's supposed to be this sad, traumatic event, until you realize that 6 episodes earlier, Ash was going to trade Butterfree to this guy. And, like, he's got the top hat, he's got a monocle, he's got the worst fucking mustache, a bow tie with tails, and a cane. I don't trust this man with anything, let alone my Pokemon. It's not like Ash was trading Butterfree for anything good. It was Eradicate. And the only reason they traded back was, I don't know, the boat was sinking and Ash got concerned.
This isn't the worst fate.
Wait. Millie, this is for you.
Butterfree isn't Ash's only Gen 1 flying type that gets it. So Ash, Pidgeot helps some like local birds against their local bully, and Ash, who's busy fetching like Professor Oak's cigs and being a little errand boy, is like, you know what, you can stay here. I'll come back for you soon. Don't worry. He never returns. In fact, he's literally just abandoned it because he never comes back. Like never. When Pidgeot does return, it goes to him. And it actually saves him in the very final episode where, Team Rocket would have gotten Pikachu. They would have gotten away with it. But then the Bird Ex Machina comes.
God damn it.
And Ash is like, fine. He's like, you want to come with me again? We can adventure. Guess who's not there ever again? So he abandoned his Pokemon not once, but twice. And that's not even as bad in the episode Electric Soldier Porygon, where Team Rocket enters the internet because, it's the 90s. And they shoot a rocket because, it's the 90s and that's what you did. And Ash is like, Pikachu, destroy the rocket. And Pikachu destroys the rocket, giving, hundreds of kids across Japan seizures. And Ash, seeing this, is like, you did it, Pikachu. Congratulations. Sure. Disgusting.
Honestly, turns out epileptics are weak against Porygon.
But Ash is just kind of a danger to everyone around him. Like, for example, Charmander. The whole concept of if its tail goes out, it dies. Does Ash cover Charmander's tail from the rain? No. Does he put it in a Pokeball?
Everything else about Charmander but the tail.
Yeah, when Brock gets like horribly injured and sick, Ash just is upset because he's slowing him down. And then let's not forget the first episode where he meets Pikachu and they're both almost murdered by sparrows. And then, of course, when in SSN, when it starts sinking, Ash sends his Pokemon out to fight the water. And that's not how this works. It's like your Pokemon might at least survive if they're in their Pokeballs. And again, Charmander, tail goes out, it dies. Maybe don't send it into a sinking ship.
It's to me.
Yeah. Sure.
Ash and Go, I talked earlier about how Go is such a good guy, which is a shame because it ended super sourly between the two. Go wanted to go on his own journey, and he's like, wait, that's a bad thought? I'm a bad friend. And so he stays up all night, and he's like, oh, I'm such a bad guy. And then the next day, Ash is like, by the way, I'm going on a journey, and you're not invited because I don't like you anymore. And it's pretty brutal, which it's a shame it ended like this because they used to be bros. Ash has led Pikachu in a bunch of irresponsible other places, for example, Boruto. And Norm MacDonald. I mean, I trust the relevant comedian about as much as the next guy, but I 100% don't trust my Pokemon with the critic. And I 100% don't trust them with the guy from Pen Pineapple Apple Pen. Just completely irresponsible Pokemon usage.
That's not even to mention the numerous accounts of Ash wearing blackface. Cancelled. The only reason we didn't put canceled there was because it looks weird. We fought over how to spell it. Anyway. Depends on what country you're from. Anyway, so with this, Ash is a jerk who has failed at everything he's attempted and is a serial animal abuser. So, he can't be the protagonist of the story. He's the antagonist, which means our hero can only be one group. Team Rocket.
I mean, because we already know Ash abuses his Pokemon, and in the very first episode, he uses, like, dental floss and, like, those cleaning gloves. Like, those aren't comfortable things. Now, Team Rocket, they use the finest padded glove. I mean, Pikachu, just look, it's screaming out of excitement. It's loving this. It's like they use the finest cages. There's lots of extra space for Pikachu to run around and enjoy itself. And then the finest silk nets. Pikachu's screaming out of excitement here. That's not its tail. So, Team Rocket are the heroes. So I'm going to go through some of their best plans where they really saved the day and made the world a better place. Of course, the first one is the Ditto episode, where they come across a Ditto who's had a birth defect. It can't transform its eyes correctly. But through some sweat and tears and powerful, motivating speech, they manage to help it get through its problem. And it can transform perfectly. Sure, maybe planning on then giving it to the crime boss as a different Pokemon and not one that can transform into anything was maybe not the best idea. But, of course, this ends when Ditto turns into a cannon, because I didn't know Balloon was weak to cannon type.
Wait. Ditto's a functioning cannon.
Functional, yeah.
It's shooting cannonballs.
It shoots Pikachu, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
If it can transform into metal, that also means it can transform into Mecha Mewtwo. So it really would have been a good gift for the boss.
He already has one.
Why not two?
All right, Mewtwo.
Of course, my next favorite episode is, of course, the episode where Team Rocket has a blockade around Naboo, and they're trying to get that tax dollars. And Ash just doesn't want to pay taxes, so he hops in a spaceship and blows up their blockade. Honestly, it was a good episode, but it just left a few too many questions. And of course, the next episode is James's Jugs, where James enters a beauty pageant. We have judges like Brock and Gary, and of course, everyone votes for James. He's the best. He's the best. Everyone loves him. And finally, I have to talk about the one episode where Team Rocket's up on their mountain, or the mountain in Whoville, and they hear all the Who's down in Whoville with the McCallits and the Who's-its, and they just can't deal with Christmas, so they have to go down and steal Christmas. But while they're down there, taking everything away from everyone, they see Ash being attacked by the 3 legendary birds. And this would kill most people, but Team Rocket decides that they're going to put their lives on the line and save this small child. And Christmas wasn't the only holiday they had to save. They also saved Easter, the 4th of July, and Arbor Day. But what happened to Team Rocket? Where are they now?
Team Rocket gave it up. They're canonically podcasters now. They have a little man cave with barely functioning, like, Grateful Dead posters.
It looks like they're podcasting on a pool table.
Yeah, I think they are, actually.
You can see the pool hole.
And they're a podcaster. They're podcasters now, and they're actually successful. They get the viewers, they get the money, they get sponsorships, and they still go out and try and steal Pikachu.
That's bullshit. Only like 3 people listen to our podcast.
Come on, guys.
Oh yeah, holes. So, I think it's honestly, as good as Team Rocket is at podcasting, I think they've given up a lucrative career as hole diggers. Though before we start this section, I do need to note, Timon, not a Pokemon. Pumbaa, a Pokemon. This doesn't work as well given we haven't given you 5th gen as a Pokemon yet, but all of our panels are in the same universe. Whatever. So, I wanted to figure out how good are Team Rocket at digging holes. I put in so much goddamn work into this. So a size of a hole from Team Rocket, we're gonna say it's 10 by 10 by 10 feet. Mostly because, what's the fucking scale here? Yeah, Brock's the scale, but like, let's be honest, they're inconsistent. So we're gonna say it's 1,000 cubic feet is how big the average Team Rocket hole is. So I wanna know, how much does 1,000 cubic feet of dirt weigh? So I Googled it, and I got a lot of weird answers. We did have a geologist at one of our panels actually fact check these for us, and I don't remember how that went, and I should have written it down. But anyway, I got frustrated and decided to instead do my own independent research, because that's, how it fucking works this day and age for some goddamn reason. So I went out into the field. I went to Home Depot, the good Home Depot, and I bought some dirt, and I started a garden, and I didn't learn anything about the average weight of a cubic foot of dirt. Also, my garden failed. I grew collectively 1 tomato and 3 peppers. I spent $200 on the garden, so it was $50 per piece of produce. I ate none of it. We were talking about digging holes. So at this point I was like, I don't know, how much dirt can you shovel in an hour? Maybe that'll fucking help us. And I went to Quora. First up, Dick Wimmers, former clinical psychologist, retired. Dick, I don't know why you needed to tell me former and retired. That's fucking redundant. He thinks he can dig about a ton of dirt an hour. But he's 81 and could do a lot more when he was younger. Next up, we have Carrie Arturo, native Finn. Didn't know Finns were well known for digging, but thanks for letting me know. He doesn't know how much he can dig. Thanks for responding. What's important is he can dig for 14 hours straight, unlike his bratty kids. So with this much toxic masculinity and one-upsmanship, it only made sense that the next comment came from Vegeta. Prince of the Saiyans and best Earth mover, retired. I have still learned nothing about digging. So, you know, how good they're at it. Maybe they're using machines. I don't know. Arbok can learn dig, but no, we see them with shovels. So at this point, I'm making up numbers. 7.5 shovels per cubic foot of dirt. 1,000 cubic feet of dirt is 7,500 shovelfuls at 3 shovels per minute. That's 2,500 minutes of labor, or 1,000 minutes for this group, because we all know Meowth isn't carrying his own fucking weight. But they dig these tunnels in the time it takes the twerp to go around a corner. So my reasoning here, and why Team Rocket is probably so loathed by Ash, is not because, you know, they're just great stand-up people who are trying to liberate his Pokemon from a fucking abuser. It's because they're Pokemon themselves, and he can't help but hurt them.
Thankfully, Ash is dead. They replaced him with Liko and Roy, who spend all their time traveling around with their bunch of misfits sailing around on their airship. And, you know, I wonder if this sounds like any other series.
Yeah, but anyway, now that we finally got rid of Ash, we can have a new series, we wanted to posit our own ideas about series they could have made if they didn't do Ash.
Well, there's Richie, who is Ash, but better in every way. Therefore, Pokemon with Richie would just be regular Pokemon, except it's better than every way, and Ash isn't a little cringy piece of shit.
Yeah, and he would have won the league in the first season.
Yeah, first season. He would have done it, I believe. He names his Pokemon. He knows what he's doing.
Our next idea was, of course, Nomura from the new games, because she's basically a successor to Ash. She just goes around challenging every snot-nosed brat she can find to a fight, and wins with plot armor, and because she can terrestrialize and nobody else can. So we'd probably get like 2,000 episodes of her. It would have been good.
Next, we have Jigglypuff. This is basically, you know, America's Got Talent, but Kanto's Got Talent. The premise here, of course, is that instead of Simon Cowell insulting you, Jigglypuff is literally just going to beat the shit out of you. The good thing, though, is each episode does end with Jigglypuff singing, so you are able to fall asleep, which is really nice.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. Anything that helps me sleep is fantastic.
I took melatonin last week, and it didn't work. Anyway, I feel really bad for whatever show has to follow this, because the audience retention is going to be trash.
Unless it's Lance. Because everyone loves Lance. He's got 3 fucking Dragonites. He's an icon. Everyone loves him. He does whatever he does, and it looks cool. So it'd be a prestige HBO series. Would win like 50 awards, and then it would have a trash final season that would ruin its legacy.
And then finally, the one that everybody wants, but shouldn't, is of course that Professor Oak reboot. Now, most people want young Professor Oak, you know, going around doing whatever fucking Professor Oak does. But I think that's bad. I want, like, you know, midlife crisis Professor Oak. I mean, his wife has left him. He's fucking professoring in Pallet Town, where they have, like, 3 different Pokemon available. He is clearly on the cusp of losing accreditation. And all he's got is this hot mom who's moved in next door and a 10-year-old that he's trying to get the fuck out of the house so he can fuck her. Like, how is that not peak television? Anyway, it can't be, because the real option is to wrap this up in one of our other projects, which is, of course, our Jackie Chan Adventures reboot. I don't know. I'm really excited to see Jackie Chan team up with Hitmonchan and then, I don't know, fight Shenju Dragonite or Mecha Draco. I don't know, man. It'll be good. Anyway, smell you fuckers later. So, thank you all for coming to our panel. We'd also like to thank Gary Oak for teaching us what good personal hygiene is. Good thing there's a stand upstairs to help you practice that. Nurse Joy for teaching us that universal healthcare is something we can strive for, even if it's never going to fucking happen. The Pokemon Musical for teaching us that Giovanni and Ash's mom were good friends. Team Rocket for trying to normalize travel by hot air balloon, and MAGWest for letting us give panels for some reason. Anyway, you can follow us on Discord, Twitter, that third QR code that is definitely a legit link and not going to steal your apes. All right, we have one more panel today. It's 5th Gen Isn't Pokemon. It's in Panels Room 2, which is on the other side of this wall, in case you don't know. And that's going to be at 9 p.m. And otherwise, I will entertain questions.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We appreciate you guys coming here.
Also, Josh, do you want to talk about, like, can you be con to these people or something?
I guess, sure.
Plug your con. Right. Plug your con. Here. Oh, you can. We'll accept questions while Josh gets. Yeah, he's coming. Here you go.
Free advertising.
So I help run an anime video game convention called KenobiCon. A bunch of flyers for it. These guys are here. These guys are awesome.
We're gonna do this again there.
Yeah. So we have free barbecue for all attendees at our convention. The in-person date is August 27th, which is a Sunday, and we also have a virtual day as well on our Twitch channel. So feel free to stop me for a flyer, or I think we have a flyer table upstairs on the other side. But either way, come check it out.
It's a nice small con. There's video game tournaments, shops. There are more shops there than here. I was surprised. And what was it like? You guys have like the dating auction?
Oh yeah.
Where the dates don't happen.
Actually, a lot of them.
Oh wow. My college canceled those. I never got to be auctioned off for $0. I'm very upset about that. Anyway, does anybody have any questions? You're also free to just leave. I don't know. Yes, guy who had questions all throughout the panel and before the panel and now after the panel.
Well, first off, I wanted to ask you where I could find your podcast, because I do like listening.
Wow, that's a mistake.
Okay, so it's specific. It's the most niche fucking bullshit. I mean, that's how you have to put it, right?
Yeah.
So it's called Anime Survivor, where we run a Survivor simulator and throw anime characters into it. I have to use air quotes because, like, fucking Henry Kissinger's won an episode at this point, so, like, anime characters. So we throw them into a Survivor simulator and just, see how it fucking goes. We stream it on Twitch.
When's the next episode?
Yeah, the next episode is actually tomorrow night on Twitch at 8 p.m. You can get to our Twitch either through our Discord or our Twitter. I did not put a Twitch link up because that was too many links. And it's also on Spotify, but I only put like a few episodes up before I realized no one was listening to it. And it's on our YouTube, which you can also get to through those links. Yes.
So I googled Anime Survivor. It's just a bunch of TikTok girls shaking their ass.
Yeah, don't TikTok it. Yeah. As I said, we have like 3 listeners. We're not coming up on any searches.
Yes, and then second of all, there's actually a bunch of things that I wanted to say. I forgot all of them. Oh, 2 of them I remember.
Oh God.
They can't have Richie be the main character because he's guilty of copyright infringement.
What copyrights did he infringe?
All of his Pokemon are named after brand name products. Like his Charmander's named Zippo.
Yeah, but like fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, all of the villains are named after bands, so like...
Yeah, but that only flies in Japan. They have to be changed everywhere else. In America, they changed their names to be copyright infringement.
Okay, I mean, when I watch the dub, it's still Dio.
Dio's not a band name. That's just a guy.
He's a band.
No, it's just his...
There's REO Speedwagon.
It's an actual name.
I don't care.
And the other one is Raichu Can't Learn Agility.
You can learn it as Pikachu and then evolve into a Raichu.
He did it.
No, their whole their whole fucking reasoning in the anime was that, well, Pikachu's faster than Raichu, which isn't how it works. And the idea was using agility to take advantage of the situation, and that's not how Pokemon fights work. But yeah, I guess Raichu technically can't learn agility because Raichu doesn't get any level up moves. But I think agility was a TM.
Yeah.
So, checkmate atheists.
It cannot learn agility by TM.
What the fuck? Wait, can Pikachu learn agility?
Yes.
What? Okay, that is fucking wild. That is so dumb.
Don't evolve your Pikachus.
Don't teach your Pikachu agility. It's a useless move. God, this is so fucking weird. Anyway, anyone else have anything while my brain breaks? I mean, we're still going to make that point. We're not changing anything.
I'll see you at the night.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here. Hopefully you'll see us again at night. Well, you'll see me again at 9. He's leaving.
Yeah.
His dog is sick, and also he didn't want to be here. Mag was so cute.
Yep, I gotta get...
Probably got to him.
Huh?
Ash probably got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Ash or the directors of Milo and Otis.
I did have one thing.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe you